Hello everyone, Sean Almeida from Vestor.Estate. I want to cover a topic today specifically for investors who are looking to buy and let out to other expats. First thing you need to know is that it's very block by block and street by street in the city. So before you buy a property, to know who your tenant's going to be and how much they can or will pay, you need to know who your tenant is more or less before you buy the place. That sounds a bit extreme, but it's definitely doable, especially when you consider the districts and what's in those districts where you're buying. For example, the Golden Gate area, which is number one, it's the unofficial diplomatic district, so you tend to want to focus on the embassies. And for that, you need to know how many how many people they have working there. They tend to be families, they tend to be younger or older without children, let's say. And what more importantly, what their budgets are. Because when you're going to rent the place out, you need to know what they're able to pay for the place that you will buy. So you want to keep that in mind, that you should know before you buy. So who are the most reliable tenants? In my 8 years of experience, I would say number one for sure are the diplomatic missions here, embassies, delegations, and things like that. And why? Because, for example, during the crises in the past, the embassies, they don't shed their people and send them home. They tend to stay because they have to deal with a lot of issues here. They also tend to even expand during crises here to bring in technical assistance people. Maybe some of their police officers come over and train the police here. So these are your most consistent tenants. Also, because they're foreign entities, they prefer to actually fix the rent in a foreign currency, not to have fluctuation in either dollars or euros. So for them, they can budget easier. So if you're an investor in dollars, you can receive your money back in dollars. At least you might get it in hryvnia, but fixed to the dollar. Also, they tend to be quite long term. On average, between 2 to 3 years, sometimes as high as 4 or even 6 years. So you have the same family or tenant living in there for a long time, paying consistently, never an issue with funding. They don't go up and down with the economy. So those are definitely the most attractive. Number two, and I kind of touched on that, is technical assistance. There's many various organizations that send people over here. Red Cross, for example, Doctors Without Borders. They tend not to have the biggest budgets, but there's a lot of them. So if you have a small or medium-sized place, they tend to have kind of younger people, maybe young couples. So if you get an apartment that suits that kind of client, you can have a lot of different options with whom you want to rent to. That's one of the better ones. So third place I would say is the business type people. They tend to ride the economy. So when things go up and down, not necessarily in Ukraine, it could be a crisis that affects Europe or even North America more than Ukraine, but those are maybe your target tenants because the company might be run by these people, and so you might have issues there. But when times are good, they tend to have really generous budgets. If they're here as an expat, they're getting expat packages. They might have drivers, so the company's not going to try to spare expenses with the apartment. They like a place, whether it's a huge place or a small place, as long as it's nice and good location, they can pay a pretty penny. But you have to understand that when there are fluctuations in the economy, it might not be the most stable kind of client. So, anyways, I hope that was helpful for you investors out there. Please like us here on Facebook and follow us on Facebook for future developments in the real estate market in Kyiv. Thank you.